In the Factor follow-up segment tonight, an unexpected twist to the wave of knockout game assaults taking place around the country.
27-year-old Conrad Barrett hasn't been in a whole lot of trouble with the law. Now he's charged with a federal hate crime. According to federal court documents, on November 24th, Barrett approached a couple at a restaurant in Fulshear and asked if they had heard of the knockout game. The knockout game is an attack like this one, in which the attacker tries to knock out an unsuspecting victim with one punch. The attacks are usually posted online. Barrett, according to federal prosecutors, showed the couple video of the knockout game he had played that day in Katy. The 80-year-old victim had to undergo surgery to insert 2 metal plates in his jaw and remove 3 teeth.
He wasn't doing good at all. He couldn't eat, he couldn't drink nothing. His jaw was all broke.
In other videos, prosecutors say Barrett uses the N-word and states that African Americans haven't fully experienced the blessing of evolution.
But some are accusing the Justice Department of a double standard. Joining us now from Houston, attorney Horace Cooper and Nicole DeBoard, also an attorney and former prosecutor. Mr. Cooper, let me ask you, what's the problem with having this as the first case?
Oh, well, it's clearly evidence as a double standard. You can look on the Department of Justice website, and you can't find one single press release regarding this knockout problem. Liberal allies in the media tried to downplay it, and now all of a sudden, the very first time they get a chance to weigh in on the matter, they find the one white guy out of the dozens and dozens and dozens of cases where this has overwhelmingly been a problem, where black thugs have been preying on others, and in too many instances, people who were innocent, minding their own business, who happen to be white.
Well, Mr. DeBoard, now, I'm not convinced that every case is a knockout game case, but didn't Barrett really give the government this case on a platter because he videotaped it and he spoke about racial animus and therefore, I think, pretty much fit the definition of a hate crime?
Exactly what this particular defendant did. He does the thing on video, which he then shows to witnesses, and he comments on it, saying that the reason he selected this particular victim was because of his race, and that fits exactly into the statute. The Justice Department acted correctly in making the decision to charge this individual if the allegations are correct.
But, Mr. DeBoard, you understand Mr. Cooper's point that previously in all the other examples that we've heard of, you have black people attacking white people. And here you have the Justice Department, led by Eric Holder, an African American, never taking action against any black assailant. Doesn't that strike you as a double standard?
It really doesn't, because in those cases there hasn't been any indication that the victims in question were selected based on their race. And in this case, the attacker actually goes on video and says that the victim he chose was chosen because of race. And that's the difference.
Okay, wait a second. Let's challenge this. First of all, one of the other names of the knockout game is polar bear hunting, where they are targeting whites purposely. And in many of the instances, part of the game is you post the video. It's curious to me, in the George Zimmerman trial, there were texts involving Trayvon Martin, which appeared that he played this particular game, but no investigation. You got a city council member in Brooklyn saying this is happening to too many Orthodox Jews. Young black thugs are beating them up, and now we have 4, 5, or 6 reported deaths that Fox News is counting. What we're talking about is a real question. Why hasn't the Justice Department gone after these cases? Hold
on a second, Horace Cooper. Everything you just said seems to me to be circumstantial or you know, a report, not quite clear. In the case that Mr. DeBoard is discussing, the man videotaped it. He is heard talking about it, using racial language to justify his attack, and even, you know, sort of saying blacks haven't benefited from evolution. I don't understand, how is that contrary to what she's saying when she says this case has been served up to the government as an example of a hate crime?
We've got a case going on right now in Syracuse, New York, in which a person was accused of this. We've got audio tape, we've got witness testimony, and yet no observation by the Justice Department that were this case to go south, they're going to intervene. We've got case after case of evidence here in the state of Texas, where I am, where this very same crime, if the Justice Department hadn't gotten involved, could get you 25 to life. Why is the Justice Department picking this case?
And your answer, answer your own question there, Horace Cooper. Why do you think the Justice Department is getting involved in this case?
The Justice Department...
It's the kind of case the government wants to use to show that the hate crime laws are primarily laws used to prosecute white Americans and not to prosecute
Mr. Board, how would you respond? I'll give you the final word.
The Justice Department has to start somewhere, and why not start with a case where it appears that they have been served the perfect case on a silver platter through the assailant's own words on video?
Well, one thing we can all agree on, they should go after anybody who engages in this kind of horrible behavior, regardless of race. Mr. Board, Mr. Cooper, thank you.